name is Min Hui. Today I learn English. American textbook reading, Science for Lesson 13. Let's go. Hello everybody, welcome back to American textbook reading. My name is Brian Starr, and in this lesson we're going over Science book 4, Lesson 13. Well, we're discovering about work. Are we going to work in this lesson? No, we're not. But we're going to learn about works. Well, we would learn how to make work easier. That's right. And what are some simple machines that can make our work to be better? Okay, well, let's get started to work here, okay? Well, first word here we have is pulley. Pulleys is a device with a wheel and a rope for lifting heavy objects. Well, it's a device, but actually it's just kind of like simple machines or people's just as tool that you can use to perform some actions. So pulley is a device with a wheel, and the wheel here, you can see the wheel is here and a rope. You see the rope sticking out for lifting objects out. They are lifting those skips. You can see, right? Well, a pulley, maybe you can tie a rope to it, and then you will turn the wheels to pull it out. Well, we use pulleys when there's something that's very big and we put it in a crate, right? And that's what a pulley is. Basically, a pulley is used for lifting. Okay, our next word here we have is lift. Lift is just kind of like a pulley's job. So lift here is a verb, right? And it means to do some things. To move something from a lower to higher positions. Well, here, it is from a round idea, right? And then something pulls up like the pulleys, right? It'll pull it higher, right? Well, this is it. Before pulling, after it's been lifted, it's being higher, right? Okay. Our next word here we have is a wheel. We saw wheels before on the pulleys, but a wheel is a round object. It looks round like this, right? It's not circle or it's not square or triangle. No. Well, those wheels are round. They're usually on vehicles, which lets move them around. Because let's see, if the wheel is triangle, right, then it will move like it. And it will be very bad and it won't turn very fast. But if the wheel is round, then it will move faster on smooth roads and also on rough surfaces. While wheels, it needs to be round because if it's R shapes, then it can't be fast and it can't help those cars to transport. It's a lot easier to move. Well, a wheel. Okay, the next word here we have is a wagon. A wagon is a vehicle with 4 wheels. It has 4 wheels and usually pulled by a horse. When this picture actually is, they're not horses, right? They're not horses. They have the horns on them. They're not horses. Horses don't have those horns, right? Well, this may be an ox or something, right? So usually horses are used to pull wagons, but many different animals can also pull those wagons, like those oxes or buffaloes, right? Many different types of animals were used for the pulling power. In this case, we have a couple of oxen, of course. Horses are also used as well. Actually, looking at this picture, I'm seeing that the ox, they're not real. Yeah? The ox is not so black because that just kind of like has been polished. I don't know. Well, okay. Well, the wagons, it have those wheels, you see, right? Every transportation's wheels looks like a circle, right? Well, wagons. Okay, our next word here I have is a lever. a lever is another thing that helps make work easier because you can use a lever to move heavy objects. The scientist says, give me a lever long enough and I can move the earth. Of course, there are a lot more arts equipments to do that. But what he's saying is that the lever is very powerful. Yes, that's right. But the lever can't work by itself. It will need an object under to lift it up so that it can work, right? And it can lift something, right? Of course, you need a lever. This piece of board is a lever. Also need the objects under it for the lever to move. And of course, this has to be strong enough to support the weight of whatever it is that you want to move. What does this look like? By the way, it looks like a lever so that you can use to lift things, okay? Our last bridge here we have is ramp. Ramp is a surface that connects a lower level to a higher level. Well, that just means connecting objects and kind of like from the top like this, and this is the round, and let out to touch that round, to connect from that to the round, right? And that would be a ramp. That is our surface, and the piece that's connecting those two are the ramps, right? Okay? We've learned about some vocabularies about what makes the work easier. Let's see and find the total of those, okay? First is a pulley. Pulley. Well, a pulley. It just looks like this. A board. Okay? Well, if you want to look at a pulley, what is it? Well, a pulley it will have a wheel. Well, I think I will need something to make the wheel. Like this one. There we go. The wheels. You would have the wheels as the main parts, right? The wheel would be the main parts. Why? Because the wheels helps the pulleys to act, right? Well, there's the wheel. Well, the wheels here be connected to something. A very important things too. There will be the ropes on those wheels. Very big strings, right? Actually, I'm not very good at drawing. Here, and then it will lift those objects up. Okay, that's pretty bad thinking. Okay, well, those pulleys just like that. It will have a wheels from it, and then there will be ropes to pull things up. Usually, pulleys would have magnets inside it so that it can collect the magnetic things up, right? Well, that's a pulley. Okay, our next word here we have is a lever. Lever is a thing that can help move things. Well, where can we see those levers, those tools? Okay, well, we can see those levers in the parks, right? Just like the seesaw. We would have the top, like this. Yeah, there would be a top, and then there would be some kind of like lines, you know, those boards are bonds to lift those kids who are playing on the boards, right? And then if this object here is bigger, this object here is smaller, then who will think that it will lift up? It will lift up like this or like this. Yes, that's right. This way. Why? Because when there's the heavier object in the other place, then it will be lower. If it's heavier, then it's lower. Bigger, slower. If it's smaller and lighter, then it will be higher. Right? Okay? Well, don't be messed up with those. A big object can't be higher than a smaller object. Okay? Well, and if what do we have? If all objects are just as the same as ours. What do I mean? I mean here is I have an object like this. And there we go, another object. And they're both the same. They're both the same. Well, what shapes will that looks like? Will it look like this, or like this, or like this? This one. Why? Because when two objects that have the same width, then it will just stay the same. They're the same where there wouldn't be any changings, right? Okay, and the line will still be like this. But that's how it works in our daily life. Next is a wheel. A wheel can help pull heavy things. Yes, that's right. Well, imagine. There are some types of wheels that we can make. First, in the very first time that we describe that we can have wheels, we have many different ideas about those wheels. We don't know if that looks like this, like this. Wait a little bit. Or maybe it will look like this. Or like this. Or maybe like this one. Or this other one. Well, there are many shapes in real life, and I don't know what shapes works perfect. Right? They have many choices. And they can't think what will they choose. Well, first, they think about these shapes. Then they think about this other shapes. Right? Another choice for them to choose, right? And then another shapes for them. There are many shapes in your daily life. Also this one. There. And also this one. The squares, or maybe the rectangle. Okay, and the stars, that looks pretty cool, right? I think if that happens in your daily life, maybe it looks pretty cool. Okay, the wheels will look like a stars. And we also have one more choice. No, two more. Here we go. It's this one and also this one. They're circle or perfect, right? Okay, well, what shape would you think will happen in our wheels? Let's think. Okay, first is the shape like this. I don't know what shape is this called. It has many circles, okay? But when it moves, imagine it will move like this. It will move up, and down, up and down. That will be very annoying. I think we'll need to cross this one. It won't be in our list anymore. Okay, next is this diamond or the square. This square. Do you think it works? Well, it just looks like ours, right? Because it has those sides. Well, these shapes also have sides. What about this? A triangle. Well, we move like this. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Well, after looking at those shapes, you see that those shapes all have lines, and they are all bad choices. They can't be fair and yours. Well, what is the shapes that doesn't have any sides, any corners, and any angles? These shapes are perfect frames, circles. Well, or a circle. When it moves, it will move smoothly out, right? It moves smoothly all the way. And that will be very perfect. Well, people have thought about many choices, and after that, they choose the circle be their perfect friend. Right? Because when it's moved, it will move very nicely, like this. Okay? Well, that's why we have those three dark shapes in the circle. Okay, that takes the longest time to explain, and that is a ramp. A ramp can make things from levels to others. Okay? Well, let's look at our next chart here. Symbol machines. First is a wedge. A wedge are used to cut or split things. A wedge, a wedge, a wedge. You know what a wedge? Let me see. A wedge. A wedge is things that can cut things very easily. Well, that wedge, that one has a very, very, very sharp corners. It wouldn't be circle, right? No, it wouldn't. It'll be very sharp, like this one. This very sharp, right? We can easily cut things. Okay, next is screw. Screws are used to hold things together. Well, here is our whole screws, right? Screws are different from you. Screw need a screwer to dive it in, right? It can't have timers to do this, right? And the nails can't be used by screwer. It can only use by a hammer. And a hammer is different from a screwer. Okay, next is wheel and axle. Wheels and axles are used to help you move things. Axles are just kind of like the wheels, but they have a different names, and there's some parties of them that are different. Okay, well, let's see our reading part. Work is how much force is used to move something. If you push or pull an object and it moves, work is done. But if the object does not move, then no work has been done. A heavy box is hard to lift. A lot of work is needed. Well, if we don't have a lot of workers, how can we lift the box just kind of like? If we're home alone, we can't call our neighborhoods, right? Well, maybe we can use a pulley. A pulley makes it easier to lift the box. Less work is needed. But usually you wouldn't have a big pulley not to lift those. Okay? A heavy box is hard to pull. Yes, right. You need to use all of your force. Well, there's a lot of frictions between the box and the floor, right? Because kind of like it will never happens that it will slow down the box now. It's easier to pull the box on the wagon. The wagon has wheels, and the frictions will be much bigger, right? If there's less frictions between the wagons and the wheels and the ramps. Okay? A heavy wagon is hard to carry upstairs. Yes, that's right. And easier to pull the ride upstairs on the ramp. Yeah, it's kind of like if you have those heart shapes like this, right? Then when the circle moves on, it'll need to jump up into another part, and then that would take a lot of time, and maybe all the things will fall down. What if we have this sides here? It can easily be rolled up or being rolled down. Okay? Right? Well, we finished our reading today. Well, today is all about tools that helps to make work easier and simple machines that can help us in our jobs. Remember, a pulley can help lift an object. A lever cannot move things. A wheel can help pull heavy. And remember, the wheels can never be in any shape except their circle. And a ramp can move things from one level to another. Okay? Well, now it's time to say bye. See you next time.